Found out wife 28F of 14 years cheated a couple years ago on vacation. How do I handle things from here? Story 1. We've been together since we were 14, got married at 23 and have been married for 5 years. We celebrated our 5th wedding anniversary in June. Recently we'd been discussing kids, and a couple nights back we were drinking a bit and the topic ended up on pregnancy scares. We had a couple of those back in college, and then my wife drunkenly mentioned the one in 2017. Which sobered me up real fast, since the last time we had one was 2012 when we were both 21. I was like, what do you mean 2017? And she got this weird expression on her face before trying to play it off like it was a drunken slip of the tongue, but I've been with her since we were 14. I know when something's up with her, and I said, no, you're lying. Tell me WTF do you mean about a scare in 2017? She tried playing it off again and leaving, and at this point my mind was running away from me, so I grabbed her hand and said, tell me what the hell you're talking about. Then she just breaks down and starts crying as if her parents just died. She told me in 2017 when she took a holiday with her 2 friends, they met some guys and partied with them a few days before the trip ended. It was 10 days long and this would have been day 6. They went to the guy's place to continue hanging out, and her friends had time with a couple of them. She said she stayed drinking Abbott with another and had been firm about being married. However, the dude was handsome and charming and persuaded her to have some fun. He pointed out she was thousands of miles away from her husband. He'd never know, and this might be her chance to have time with someone else other than the one guy she'd only ever slept with. She said she resisted at first, but at some point didn't think of me or us and just went with it. She slept with him twice that night, then a few more times over the remaining days of the trip. Her friends didn't ask or say anything, and she said she felt guilty but did it anyway. On the last day of the trip, her friends and her were back at the hotel when one of them said, don't worry, we won't say anything, what happens here stays here. And she just broke down crying over there. According to her, she felt like it was a full-on mental breakdown. They comforted her and said they'd support her, but she made her decision to have time with the guy multiple times. She said she felt like such a piece of acid, and before she came home she called me and said she'd get a ride to her mother's where she'd be for a few weeks. She got tested during this time period and debated over what to do. She wanted to tell me but didn't want to lose me, and so resolved to put it in the past and just be a better, faithful wife from then on. Since then she hung out with those women a lot less, and I'll admit she seemed to try very hard to be a good wife and lover after she came home. I thought she just missed me a lot, but now I know she was overcompensating. Which lead to the other night. I feel like my mind is just in a daze. I paced around the parking lot for like an hour at work, and my boss even asked if everything was okay and told me to head home if I wanted. She's been trying to speak to me, crying a lot. I hate that she's acting as if she's the one hurt by my ignoring her right now. She's been promising she'll always be a great wife, but the fact is that she ducked another man multiple times, and if not for a stupid conversation coming up while drinking, I'd never know. Then there's the part of me wondering if she ever cheated before, if there were ever other scares with guys. What did she really do all the time she hung out with friends? Suddenly I'm questioning most of 14 years together. I'm a loss as to what I should do here. I still madly love her, but suddenly the sight of her makes me want to punch something or just grab her and scream in her face till my voice stops working. I hate that I feel like this. TL, doctor found out while drinking that my wife had an affair while on vacation 2 years ago. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, she cheated on you multiple times, both drunk and sober. She made a conscious decision to have time with this guy over and over again. Then she lied about it for 2 years and did it so convincingly you had no idea. Now you have to live knowing she's such a good liar you'll never know if she's telling the truth and would have kept lying about it, possibly forever, if not for a tiny slip of the tongue. There's no way I could come back from that. Maybe you can, but it most definitely won't happen without immediate couples counseling. For right now it might be best if one of you stays somewhere else until you feel less volatile and maybe only see each other at a therapist's office or with a mutual friend around until things calm down a bit. Redditor 2, what a nightmare. I don't know man, a one-off might have been forgivable, but a solid week of ducking another guy be reback and her friends all laughing about it. Let's not forget that they all knew. They have told people, this isn't as big a secret as you think. No one told you is all. Duck that. You are still a young man and you don't have any kids. Get the duck out of this now. Story 2. I 20F messed up, and now my husband 25M thinks I cheated on him on my first day at work. Just some background. Me and husband have been married for 2 years. We live in the US. We've had trust issues in the past because I had trouble being honest with him about my past, and rather than telling him I wasn't ready to talk about it, I just slowly came out with more and more and lied about more and more. I did some R-rated role-playing when we just started dating, as I was young and dumb and didn't think anything of it awful I know, and eventually told him. This broke the last bit of trust he had in me for a long time. Fast forward 2 years and there have been little to no issues. Things have been great, up until today. I start training at a new job today, and I started talking to this guy 32M and he was really nice. I'm not interested in him in any way, but I ended up talking to this guy and realized he was maybe interested in me, so I tell him that I'm married. He acts all shocked saying how young I look. But that's people's typical reaction, so I don't think much of that. I keep talking to him because I figure the dude knows I'm married, so he's gotta know I'm not interested. Stupid me, because apparently, people don't care. But then later he's sitting a little close, so I bring up the husband again, trying to put the whole I'm married thing as far out there as I can so he'd get it. After that, on my lunch, I talked to him for a bit in front of the building and he tells me that he's been through 2 7-year relationships and that he wasn't looking for relationships anymore but that he was just looking for friends. Which I guess he meant those kinds of friends, but I didn't pick up on that. I know that's really dumb, but I didn't get it. I even said to him about how my brother's the same way, and that hopefully they'll both find someone eventually. So I get home and I start telling my husband all of this and he's furious. He picks up on everything this guy was trying that I didn't get, and he says that I knew and that I'm not stupid enough to have not caught on. He says I probably cheated on him with the guy. I didn't. I want to make that clear. Here's where I messed up, but then when it gets to talking about lunchtime, I get freaked out about telling him that I hung out with this dude for a bit of my lunch, and I just say I walked around for most of my lunch, and then he questions me more, and then I tell him how I also talked to the guy for a bit. He's angrier. He says I lied and I cheated. I apologized for not telling the whole truth and tell him that I was just freaked out because how angry he is. He just says I'm a liar and a cheater. I don't know what to do. I don't want to get divorced. I love him, and I don't want this to be the end of our relationship when I honestly didn't cheat on him. I just made a mistake of talking to a dude who was hitting on me. I need help on what to do. If any of this is incoherent, just let me know and I can fix it, or if you want to ask something, go ahead and I'll try to answer.